Photographs have the unique ability to capture moments in time, freezing them forever for us to revisit and reflect upon. They can tell stories, evoke emotions, and sometimes reveal details that escape the naked eye. Yet, every so often, a photograph emerges that defies all rational explanation, leaving us with more questions than answers. The images we will look at today promise to go beyond the ordinary, venturing into the realm of the uncanny. From eerie apparitions to unsettling discoveries that challenge our understanding of reality, these photographs continue to baffle experts and skeptics alike. What is it about these images that makes them so perplexing? Are they glimpses into another dimension, evidence of the supernatural, or just clever hoaxes? As we discover the stories behind each moment, frozen in time, you'll be drawn into a world where the lines between reality and the unknown blur. So, sit back, relax, and prepare to be intrigued by the unexplained as we present episode 79 on Fireside Unsolved, 5 mysterious photographs that cannot be explained. On June 15, 1989, an alarming discovery was made in the quiet town of Port St. Joe, Florida. A Polaroid photo, depicting an unidentified young woman and a boy, both gagged with black duct tape and bound, was found in the parking lot of a local convenience store. The woman who found the photo recalled that it was lying in a parking space where a white, windowless Toyota cargo van had been parked when she arrived. She described the driver as a man in his 30s with a mustache. Despite immediate police action, including roadblocks to intercept the vehicle, the man in the van vanished without a trace. According to Polaroid officials, the photograph had to have been taken after May 1989, as the specific type of film used was not available until then. In July 1989, the haunting Polaroid photo was broadcast to the public on the TV show A Current Affair. The image caught the attention of family friends of Tara Lee Calico, a missing woman, who thought the young woman in the picture bore a striking resemblance to Tara. They immediately contacted Tara's mother, Patty Dole. Patty met with investigators and closely examined the Polaroid. Considering time, growth, and lack of makeup, she became convinced that the woman in the photo was her daughter. One detail that stood out to Patty was a scar on the woman's leg, identical to one Tara had from a car accident. Adding to the eerie connection, a paperback copy of V.C. Andrews' My Sweet Audrina, one of Tara's favorite books, was visible next to the woman in the photograph. This further deepened the suspicion that the girl in the Polaroid might indeed be Tara Calico. The Polaroid's mysterious story continued as the boy in the photo was also tentatively identified. A family from New Mexico came forward, believing the boy resembled their missing son, 9-year-old Michael Henley. Michael had vanished in April 1988 while on a hunting trip with his father. In an interview with the New York Times, Michael's mother, Marty Henley, expressed her mixed emotions. "He looks scared, real scared, but he looks healthy, and I'm grateful for that." She was almost certain the boy in the Polaroid was her son. However, the identification of Michael Henley as the boy in the photograph was deemed highly unlikely. Then, in June 1990, Michael's remains were discovered approximately 7 miles from the campsite where he disappeared, and 75 miles from where Tara Calico vanished. Investigators believe Michael had wandered off and tragically succumbed to the elements. Further investigative scrutiny cast doubt on the nature of the Polaroid photo. Valencia Lieutenant Joseph Rowland, the lead investigator on the case, noted several inconsistencies. He pointed out that the young woman's hands didn't appear to be tightly bound, and her shoulders lacked the tension that severe bindings would cause. Rowland observed that there was no redness around the tape on the mouths of the children, which would indicate that the tape was not on their mouths for an extended period of time. Despite extensive efforts, neither the boy nor the girl in the photograph has ever been positively identified. The photo was analyzed by several agencies with conflicting results. Scotland Yard concluded that the woman was indeed Tara Calico, but a second analysis by the Los Alamos National Laboratory disagreed. An FBI analysis of the photo was inconclusive. This unresolved mystery continues to haunt investigators and the families involved, leaving more questions than answers. The Hessdalen Lights are an unexplained phenomenon that has intrigued observers since the 1930s. These unidentified lights appear intermittently along a 7.5-mile stretch of the Hessdalen Valley in rural central Norway. The Hessdalen Lights are a captivating phenomenon, visible both day and night. Typically bright white, yellow, or red, these lights can appear above and below the horizon. Their duration ranges from a few seconds to well over an hour. At times, the lights move with incredible speed. At other moments, they sway gently back and forth. Occasionally, they hover motionless in midair, adding to the mystery and allure of this mysterious phenomenon. The lights reached peak activity between December 1981 and mid-1984, when they were observed 15 to 20 times per week, drawing numerous overnight tourists to the valley. One theory suggests that the phenomenon might be due to an incompletely understood combustion of airborne dust from local mining activities. This analysis identified the presence of hydrogen, oxygen, and other elements, including titanium. In 2007, driven by curiosity, Professor Bjorn Hauge of Østfold University College in Halden, Norway, decided to study the Hessdalen Lights. Using a camera with a 30-second exposure, he captured a remarkable photo. Upon analyzing the image, Hauge claimed that the object seen in the sky was composed of silicon, steel, titanium, and scandium. By 2010, the number of sightings had significantly decreased to only 10 to 20 per year. Despite ongoing research, no consensus has been reached regarding the cause of the Hessdalen Lights, leaving this strange phenomenon still unexplained. Victor Goddard, a commander in the Royal Air Force during World War I, experienced a tragic incident involving one of his air mechanics, Freddy Jackson. Jackson met a fatal end at the HM Naval Seaplane Training School, later known as HMS Daedalus, where Freddy accidentally walked into a rotating propeller and succumbed to his injuries. On the day of Freddy Jackson's funeral, the crew from HMS Daedalus posed for a group photograph. Upon reviewing the photo, they noticed a startling figure in the top row, Freddy Jackson himself. According to legend, Jackson had not yet realized he was dead and showed up for the photo out of habit. Adding to the eerie tale, one source claims that the photo was taken at the very site where Jackson met his untimely death. Well, there he was, and no mistake, although a little fainter than the rest. Indeed, he looked as though he was not altogether there, not really with the group, for he alone was capless, smiling. All the rest were serious and set and wearing service caps. Most had not long returned from church parade and marching in a military funeral. For Freddy Jackson had, upon that very spot, the squadron tarmac, 3 days before, walked heedlessly into the whirling propeller of an aeroplane. He had been killed stone dead instantly. He, evidently, was still quite unaware of it. Colonel Remy van Lierde was a distinguished Belgian pilot who served valiantly during World War II. He flew with both the Belgian and British Air Forces, successfully shooting down 6 enemy aircraft and 44 V-1 flying bombs, eventually achieving the rank of squadron leader in the RAF. By 1953, as lieutenant colonel, van Lierde had risen to the esteemed position of Deputy Chief of Staff to the Minister of Defense. In 1958, he etched his name in the annals of aviation history as one of the first Belgians to break the sound barrier while test flying a Hawker Hunter at a renowned aerodrome in England. He is celebrated as a hero of World War II and a flying ace. In 1959, now a full colonel, van Lierde commanded the air base at Kamina in the African Congo. During his tenure in the Katanga region of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, he experienced a remarkable encounter. While returning from a mission by helicopter, van Lierde spotted a giant Congo snake emerging from a hole in the dense forest below. He described the snake as being close to 25 feet in length, making it one of the largest snakes ever reported. Upon making the incredible discovery, Colonel Remy van Lierde turned his helicopter around and made several passes over the snake at a lower altitude, allowing another person on board to photograph the enormous creature. Van Lierde recounted that as he flew lower for a closer inspection, the snake rose up approximately 10 feet, giving the impression it would have attacked the helicopter if it had been within striking range. "I feel and I'm convinced if I had been in its range it would have struck at me," Colonel van Lierde confessed. According to his report, the snake's aggressive posture and impressive height as it reared up were clear signs of its potential threat. Despite the danger, van Lierde managed to get a good view of the snake's coloring, leading many to believe it could have been an anaconda. This extraordinary encounter added yet another astonishing chapter to the legendary career of Colonel Remy van Lierde. He later described the giant snake as having a dark shade of green and brown with a white-colored belly. Van Lierde claimed the snake's head was 3 feet wide, with jaws of a triangular shape, The colonel is considered a reliable eyewitness, and his testimony is highly convincing. His detailed depiction aligns closely with descriptions familiar to snake experts. Multiple experts and zoologists analyzed several of his photographs of the giant Congo snake and verified their authenticity. By conducting comparison analysis with the ground features around the snake, they confirmed the impressive size of the serpent. This extraordinary sighting by Colonel Remy van Lierde continues to intrigue and fascinate the scientific community. A disconcerting Polaroid of a seemingly handcuffed boy was discovered among the possessions of Elmer Wayne Henley, an accomplice of the notorious serial killer Dean Corll. Known as the Candyman, Corll tortured and murdered at least 28 young males between 1970 and 1973. The photo has become a focal point of investigation as authorities seek to determine if the child pictured could be Corll's elusive 29th victim. Filmmaker Josh Vargas, while researching the Candyman case for a movie, made the chilling discovery. He found the photograph among materials that Henley's mother had boxed up after her son's confession and had left untouched for 40 years. This haunting image has revived interest and speculation in the already infamous case of Dean Corll and his heinous crimes. According to Josh Vargas, while rummaging through those pictures, this Polaroid falls out. I take a look at it and, right off the bat, having studied the case and the crime scene photos and everything, I see Dean's toolbox, and I see his implements in that toolbox, and I see this kid right here with handcuffs on his arms. Vargas, determined to uncover the truth, took the photo to the police and then to Elmer Wayne Henley, who is serving a life sentence. Henley examined the photograph but claimed he didn't remember that specific child. However, he did reveal that other victims are still out there, yet to be identified. This haunting discovery adds another layer of intrigue and mystery to the horrific legacy of Dean Corll, suggesting there may be more victims who have yet to be brought to light.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Fireside Unsolved. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to help the channel grow. Until next time, take it easy and be easy, you filthy bastards.